I know this looks like a lot of letters. I get that. But what I'm asking for us to do is just identify what A, and then what's in this spot, and what's in this spot. That's all I'm asking you to do. Okay. So for this particular problem over here, what's in the spot for A? -3. Okay, this is the same A we have been dealing with. So what do you know about the parabola?
Opens down.
Great, it opens down. And you know if you found the vertex, you could go over 1, down 3. All right, now we want to be careful. Remember how in vertex form x was a liar? This is the same deal. So I see x plus 6. That means that this p is -6. X minus 2, okay, that means that is 2. So those factors are the opposite sign of what you see. So if you see a +6, it's a -6. Here's a good way of remembering. If you put -6 into this parentheses, wouldn't it make it 0? If you put 2 in for x in this parentheses, isn't 2 minus 2 0? It's what makes those factors 0, because we're finding the zeros. That's what we're finding. Okay. So does the parabola open up or down? Okay, this is the same as we did before. If A is positive, it opens up. And then it has a what? A max or a min? A min. I'm going to erase the board in a second. If A is negative, it opens down, and it has a max. Okay, but when it's written in factored form, what we then know is we don't know the y-intercepts. We don't know the y-intercepts because, do you see parentheses again? It's not expanded like this. But we do know the x-intercepts. So if it's written in factored form and it's a minus and a minus, the parabola crosses the x-axis at p, 0 and q, 0. And p and q are just the numbers that are in those spots. Okay, let's use that on the example that I was giving you. Okay, so what do you know about the parabola? Somebody tell me what way it opens. This opens down. You said that already, right? Which means it has a max, right? Okay, and then the second thing is we know where it crosses the x-axis. So the x-ints, that's my abbreviation for intercepts, are at, remember it's the opposite, -6, 0 and 2, 0. You can't see? Do you want to quick, if you moved there, could you see better? It is. Okay. The last thing I'm going to tell you or teach you, and then you're going to, well, we'll do some together. And then you're going to do a couple on your own. So, parabolas have symmetry. What do I mean by that? They're the same on both sides. So if I have the x-intercepts where they cross, what that means is the vertex or the axis has to be exactly halfway in between them. Okay, and so we don't have to do a long thing to find the vertex. What we have to do is just find halfway in between two numbers. Do you know how to do halfway in between two numbers? You add them up and you divide by 2. So I know that this just means you're going to add the x-intercepts and then divide by 2. Just like before, to find the y-coordinate, you're going to plug in x. Okay. So, let's do this one. New one. Tell me what you know.
Opens down.
Opens down. Tell me the x-ints. x-intercepts.
3 and -1.
Remember, liar, liar, liar.
-3 and positive.
-3, 0, and 1, 0. So I'm going to go ahead and plot 1, 2, 3, -3 zeros right here. Some of you can already just look and figure out what halfway in between is, but let's just write it out. So the axis is the middle, and it's also the x-coordinate of the vertex, not the y. The vertex isn't here, it's just the x is in the middle. So for the vertex, we're going to write x equals, and let's average those x-intercepts together. So we're going to add -3 plus 1, and we're going to divide it by 2. What is -3 plus 1?
2. Or
-2 divided by 2. So halfway in between is -1, and that makes sense. Look where my pen is. Okay. To find the y-coordinate, we're going to plug it into the expression. So I'm going to plug it in for x. So I have on the front my -2, and then these are parentheses. Parentheses, -1 plus 3. I'm just putting my -1 in for, hold on, you can't see it. I'll come down. I'm putting my -1 in for x here, and then -1 minus 1. Parentheses I got to do first for order of operations, right? What is -1 plus 3? 2. So this is -2 times 2, and then what's -1 minus 1? -2. And a little hint to you, once you plug them in, those are going to always be the same number, opposite signs. What is -2 times 2 times -2? You don't know. No, it's not. They're all 2's. Is it -8 or +8? Okay. Let's plot our vertex then. So -1, 8 is up here. And now I can graph my parabola. I can even use the A if I want. I can go over 1, down 2 on either side. Remember that?
Yeah.
It says a really narrow parabola. Just make sure it's still curved though, would ya? Question? This one? DA? Yes. From the vertex. Yeah. You can only, but it's not like a line, Lucas. You can only do that one time around. Like on a line, we could keep doing it forever, but on this one, just do it once. Over 1, down 2. Okay, let's try one more. Of these 3, which looks the hardest to you? I know what you're going to pick. I know it already because you guys freak out about them.
4.
Fractions.
It
It isn't. It's just -1/2, -0.5. But that's the one you want to do? Okay. All right. If you want me to do one more after that, I will. Okay, tell me what you know by looking at it. Opens down. Let's write our x-intercepts. So +5, 0 and -1, 0. If you want to go ahead and put those on the graph right now, you can. Okay. Does anyone remember? I only did one. Do you remember what to do next? How do I find the vertex? Yep, we're going to find halfway in between to find the x-coordinate. So we're going to go x equals 5 plus -1 divided by 2. I think we can do that in our heads. 5 plus -1 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. To find the y, we plug it in for x up here. So we have a -1/2 in front times 2 whatever 2 minus 5 is, and whatever 2 plus 1 is. Order of operations says we have to do the parentheses first. What's in the 2 minus 5? Negative 3. What's in the 2 plus 1? 3. So we have negative 1/2 times negative 3 times positive 3. Right off the bat, if you have two negatives, don't get caught up in the multiplication yet. We know it's going to be positive, right? And then I'm going to just do 3 times, think of 3 times 3 is 9, divided by 2, or times 0.5, equals what? 4.5. Isn't 9 divided by 2 4.5? So my vertex is 2, 4.5. Is that enough? Sure. But we could still go over 1 down a half as well.